Hey y'all, this is Scott with Becoming Superhuman. And as most of you know, 2 years ago, I decided to take my health into my own hands and I lost weight. I went from 307 pounds to 187 pounds, 120 pounds. It took me about 12 months. And today on Becoming Superhuman, I'm going to share with you my 12-step process for what you can do if you need to lose 20 pounds, 50 pounds, or 100 pounds or more, coming up next on Becoming Superhuman. Okay, guys, so step number one, you got to pick a day. You got to decide when you're going to start. I would recommend picking a day as close to today as possible. No, don't delay. The more you delay, the harder it is to get into it. You'll change your mind. So pick a day. For example, when I got started on my journey, my wife and I, we started at the same time. And well, almost the same time. She decided July 1st, we're going to start this low carb, whole foods, eat healthy. And Scott's like, but July 4th is coming up. And on the 4th of July, we eat homemade ice cream. So I'm going to start a diet, go 3 days, and then I'm going to eat homemade ice cream. So I decided that I was going to start on July 5th. And that's when I started. And basically, you pick a day. I've shared with you before, C.S. Lewis said you can't go back and change your beginning, but you can start right where you are and change your ending. And guys, just pick a day to get started and make it within the next week. Make it, maybe you got a birthday party coming up Saturday, fine. Start on Sunday. Just pick a day, get started, and get going. Number two, eliminate snacking immediately. Yep, I fooled you, didn't I? So we told you to pick a day. You picked a day 4 days from now, a week from now. You wanted to wait till after a birthday party, a wedding. Fine. You can wait before you change your lifestyle. But starting today, starting tonight, starting this afternoon, eliminate snacking. Snacking is one of the worst things you can do. Just take it out. You don't need it, guys. It's a crutch. It feeds an addiction. We'll talk about addiction more. But number two, do it immediately. Stop snacking. Guys, number three, and this is the big one. This is the rest of the things that we're going to eliminate. And I like to say this is a very simple diet to follow. And I use the term diet as what we eat and how we eat, not as a fad that we're going to do for 6 weeks. I'm talking about the diet that you're going to stay on for the rest of your life. Because here's the thing, guys. The next 4 things I'm going to talk about, actually 4 things. Number two, the 4 things that you need to eliminate. Number one, ultra-processed foods. Now, I realize that 30% of my audience is outside the U.S., so I'm speaking primarily to the United States, but a little bit to you other guys too. The United States allows over almost 1,000 different ingredients in our foods that are banned in other countries. If it's coming in a box or a bag, if it's not a whole food, I want to advocate for a whole food diet. So I want you to eliminate all of the ultra processed foods. Crackers, cookies, cakes, chips. Yeah, I know it sounds brutal. It sounds hard. It is hard, but it's simple. Number two is to eliminate seed oils. And we're talking about canola oil, vegetable oil, soybean oil, safflower oil, sunflower seed oil, rapeseed oil, all of these oils that are not, they're synthetic. They're made up. They're processed. They're highly pressurized. They're bleached. They have flavorings added to them. They're highly, and they're oxidized. They make horrible things in your body. They cause inflammation. And so number two is to eliminate all seed oils. Now, that doesn't include avocado oil. That doesn't include coconut oil. That doesn't include olive oil. Did I say olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil? Doesn't include bacon fat, doesn't include beef tallow, butter, ghee, things like that. Just eliminate all vegetable oils. Eliminate these things. And the next thing you need to eliminate from your diet is refined grains. And that is, again, an issue that's primarily in the United States. I'd actually say 99% of the rest of the world it's okay to eat your refined grains. It's okay to eat your rice. It's okay to eat wheat. The problems that we have is the way our wheat is processed. Now, if you're eating wheat from the United States, I would knock that out. If you're in Italy and you can get Italian wheat, then absolutely go for it. Eat some. I would maybe cut it a little bit. Don't eat so much breads, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But primarily all grains. That's rice. That is oats. That is flour. Anything like that. The fourth thing you need to eliminate is to eliminate fast foods. Your McDonald's, your Carl's Jr.'s, your In-N-Outs, your Whataburgers, your Sonics. And guys, this is hard. And the reason, guys, we're eliminating these things, these are the things that we, particularly if you're eating a standard American diet, these are the things that we are addicted to. It is very difficult for us to just eat these things, on occasion. Fast foods. And if you will do those 3 steps, that's the first step. And then now you're going, Scott, what do we eat? Yes, correct. Number 4 on the 4 steps, the 12 steps. The 4 on the 12 steps of things that I would do, the steps that I would take to lose weight if I needed to lose 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, or more. Eat only whole foods. And so we're talking about eating protein, and that is chicken, fish, beef, pork, oysters, shrimp, your protein food groups, eating vegetables. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but vegetables are fine. I ate vegetables when I was losing weight, but mainly cruciferous vegetables. I mainly ate broccoli, Brussels sprouts, say that times real fast. I ate asparagus. I ate peppers and onions, sauteed or roasted. I ate cauliflower, things of that nature. Squash, zucchini, butternut squash, all of those things are good if you want to go into eating a whole food diet. There are some exceptions to that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Some fruits, mainly berries, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, things of that nature. They have a very low glycemic index. They still give you a little bit of that sweetness, and so it gives you something to look forward to. I eat strawberries 4 or 5 times a week now, even on just a maintenance diet. So berries are good. And then beyond that, yeah, that's it. Whole foods, proteins, veggies, fruit. So we just got through talking about the things that we have to eliminate from our diets to be able to become healthier, to become a healthy person, to lose 20 pounds, to lose 50 pounds, to lose 100 pounds. And it sounds very difficult to do. And it is. It's not. But it is one of those things that if you can do it, you will be a healthier person. And that's what this is all about. Whether you need to lose 20 pounds or 100 pounds, whether you need to lose 50 pounds or 150 pounds, the goal is to become a healthier version of you. And if you don't do that, you are going to have hard later on in life. So choose your hard. Let's choose the hard thing to do now, which is to eat the right foods or not eat the wrong foods, these foods that are very, very bad for us. Seed oils, ultra-processed foods, fast foods, grains, they cause 90% of our issues, chronic illnesses, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, hypertension, you name it, that's where these diseases are coming from. And if you want to be a healthier person later in life and you want your 70s to be easier, then choose to do the hard thing now, which is to eliminate all these things that are basically slowly killing us. Choose your hard, do it hard now rather than doing it hard later. Okay, step number 5. And this is where we're going to get into differentiating who should eat what. And this is difficult. This is the diet that's right for you may not be the diet that was right for me. The diet that was right for me may not be the diet that was right for you. I will say this, and I'm going to talk primarily about, because we're talking, it's basically a whole food diet. All three of these things that I'm going to talk about, whole food diet. Eliminate all the processed stuff, eat whole foods. It's really that simple, guys. But I want to go dive into this a little bit deeper. And so if you have type 2 diabetes or you're pre-diabetic, if you have cardiovascular disease, hypertension, if you are struggling, if you're struggling with obesity and you're really, you're pounds to lose, you have metabolic disease, guys, and insulin resistance. Maybe you haven't been diagnosed yet. I had not been diagnosed. I've been told I was pre-diabetic, but I was morbidly obese and I had insulin resistance, and I didn't even know what that meant. Insulin resistance is when we have metabolic dysfunction such that the insulin in our body doesn't respond to glucose the way it's supposed to. And that causes all kinds of issues, particularly when we're eating the wrong foods. But it can all be reversed with eating the correct kinds of foods. And I would even say, regardless of whether or not you do low carb or carnivore or just regular whole food, say Mediterranean type diet, you can reverse those issues. You can reverse almost all of those issues, guys. And so if you are in camp over here, know that you have major metabolic dysfunction. You need to decide whether or not to do, basically, I would do either the carnivore diet or ketogenic diet, a low glycemic diet, a diet that will allow your insulin to reset itself, to allow everything to get reversed such that you can be a healthier person right away just by removing most of the carbohydrates from your diet, but not all. And we'll get into that. But low carb, if you want to do low carb, no potatoes. Take potatoes out, maybe sweet potatoes on occasion, once a week. I wouldn't do it more than that. And then just kind of watch your net carb intake. Most of your vegetables, I never counted calories. I ate until I was full. I put things on the do not eat list, and if I didn't eat them, I didn't have to worry about counting anything. So I did low carb. You do you. If you are metabolically dysfunctional, low carb or keto, think about, first was looking at, what am I going to do? How am I going to become a healthier person? I was trying to decide between doing a ketogenic diet, a keto low carb diet, or if I wanted to do a carnivore diet. And ultimately, I decided to do a keto diet because I thought that a carnivore diet would be too difficult to maintain, to stay on, would get too monotonous. But one of the things that's kind of crazy is after I lost 120 pounds for the last year, I've been eating a very animal-based diet with very little vegetables, and eat veggies once a week, maybe every other week, maybe. And the rest of the time I'm eating a carnivore adjacent diet. I'm eating beef and eggs, but I'm also eating some avocado and some other fruits like strawberries. So it's not as hard as you think. If you have an autoimmune disease, if you have Crohn's, if you have psoriasis, if you have eczema, if you have skin disorder, the carnivore diet, guys, from what I've heard, is a way to go. There's a plant you're eating that's causing some of those problems. Oxalates, phthalates, lectins, things like that. There's an anti-nutrient in the vegetables that's causing problems. So decide what you're going to eat. And if you're okay with plants and you tolerate plants, then go for it. Eat what will help you sustain as long as you can. If you have some issues, then maybe a ketogenic diet's a better way to go, or a carnivore diet is a better way to go, or maybe something in the middle. Ketovore, I call it carnivore adjacent, whatever. Step number 6, let's do it like increase your protein intake from where you are now. You're going to, believe it or not, if you eliminate all of those processed foods, refined grains, fast foods, you are going to eliminate a lot of calories from your diet. And that's good. you do need to do that. But at the same time, you want to increase your protein intake to take up some of that. You want to be in a calorie deficit. But the cool thing about protein, particularly red meat or beef, that your body uses 25% of the calories you consume when you eat that beef to break that beef or that protein down in your body. Let's say 800 calories of beef, only 600 calories are available to you to burn as energy. So your calories in versus calories out is not, the calories in is not 800, it's 600, because your body's going to burn 200 of those digesting the meat, which I think that's a pretty cool deal. So eat more protein. I forgot to mention earlier when we're talking about whole foods and proteins, eat eggs. I want you to, I would recommend, I would encourage you to eat 2 eggs a day at a minimum. Most eat 3 or 4, and it's not hard to do. So breakfast, couple of eggs, 3 eggs, 4 eggs, whatever works for you. It's a good way to increase your protein. It's a good way to increase a lot of essential vitamins. Eggs are literally, y'all, a superfood. And then you have for lunch, maybe you have some ground beef and some veggies or ground beef and fruit. Remember step 2, we're not snacking, so nothing after 7, nothing before 7-ish, right? Whatever time you guys are getting up, no snacks, but eat those 3 meals and change it over to proteins, and that will go a long way to helping you be satiated. It will help you to keep from losing any muscle mass. Yeah, protein is a big deal. We don't eat enough of it. We particularly don't eat enough of it as we age. People that are my age, 60, older, tend to consume less proteins, and we need to be very intentional. If you're in your 60s, your 70s, in your 80s, I would say most of us need to double our protein intake, regardless of what kind of weight loss we're looking for, just to be able to maintain muscle mass. Step number 7. Okay, guys. Yeah, this one's hard for me. I want you to walk, guys. I want you to get up and move. That's what I would do. I would get up and move after every meal if possible. I would say walk 10 to 15 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. Try to get at least 30 minutes total of walking in. But guys, if you do it after a meal, it doesn't seem to take as much time in total, if you know what I'm saying. You don't have to block out 30 minutes or 45 minutes later in your day. If you just, okay, I just got through eating, I'm going to walk around the block. I just got through, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk, a 15-minute walk. And there's some incredible benefits to how your body processes food. Okay, guys, number 8. I think I did that right. Yes, number 8. And this one, I didn't realize this, y'all, is that if you don't sleep good, if you have problems sleeping, if you're not sleeping 7 plus, maybe 7.5 hours plus per night, your body does not like to burn fat. It will literally hold on to the fat. You need to get into a deep sleep. The better you sleep, the healthier you're going to become. And I would encourage you to go to bed earlier. Maybe quit scrolling on the phone so much. I don't do that. My problem, y'all, is YouTube. Hey, so cut back on your YouTube watching, except for my show, right? You want to watch my show, but you want to cut back. You want to go to bed earlier. You want to get better sleep. You want to get into a deep sleep. But what's kind of cool about it, guys, is that as you begin to lose weight, as you begin to get healthier, as your body begins to reverse some of its metabolic issues, sleep becomes an easier thing to do. I sleep a lot better as a 200-pound man than I did as a 300-pound man. It's really amazing. But it's very, very important. So number 8, step 8, make sure, I'm going to say at least 7.5 hours of sleep. Okay? Okay. Step number 9, guys. And I want to say this is probably more for those who want more than 20 pounds. If you just want to lose 20 pounds and you don't have big metabolic issues, then you probably don't need to go here, but you can experiment with it if you want, is intermittent fasting. Is begin to cut out 1 meal a day. Go down to 2 meals a day. And I wouldn't do that right away. So do all these other things we've talked about. And after we have kind of acclimated to that, after we've gotten set in those 9 steps that we're doing so far, 8 steps, this is number 9. This is number 9. Those 8 steps we talked about previously is intermittent fasting. So dinner, have a good sized breakfast, a good sized lunch, and then boom, no more food until the next morning. Again, what did we talk about? No snacking. So no, we're not snacking at 6 o'clock. So have breakfast, have lunch, and then have breakfast, have lunch. If you want to eat a late lunch, call it a mid-afternoon lunch if you have the opportunity to do that. There's just some incredibly cool things that happen inside your body when you can fast for more than 16 hours a day. If you can fast for 16 to 18 hours a day, you start to see a lot of recycling that happens in your body. You start to see some additional production of human growth hormone. Your mitochondria get to reset every day. It helps improve dramatically your insulin resistance. If you go 16 to 18 hours without eating every day, your insulin resistance begins to improve and reverse. And at some point in time, it will begin to improve and reverse your other metabolic issues. Maybe that's diabetes, maybe that's heart disease. And so I would strongly encourage you to get down to 2 meals a day. After your body starts learning to burn fat, and we've been 7 to 10 days, we really haven't been giving it a lot of glucose unless you're eating whole foods, and that's a different subject. I'm talking primarily to you guys that are on the non-glucose chain. You're over there not eating as few carbohydrates as possible. Your body has already learned to burn fat. It's gotten used to it. And when you skip a meal, your body kind of doesn't care. It goes, oh, I wasn't hungry anyway. You might have some mental things going on. Your brain may go, hey, it's 7 o'clock. Are we having dinner tonight? And you got to tell your brain, nope, not tonight. And your brain goes, oh, okay, no biggie. No big, because you don't have those 10 days in, you shouldn't be having those sugar cravings. You shouldn't be having those carbohydrate cravings anymore. So number 9 on the list of things I would do to lose, let's say 50 or 100 more pounds, is intermittent fasting. Number 10 on the 12 things Scott would do if I needed to lose 50 or 100 pounds. I think the 20-pound guys, y'all can skip this part, but maybe not. I mean, I need to lose about 20 pounds myself, and this is what I'm doing, is that I skip breakfast now. I skip dinner. Now I skip breakfast. I eat 1 meal a day. I eat somewhere between 11 and 2, depending on what's going on in my life. It's fairly easy for me to eat a very large meal. I'll eat a 1.5 pound steak with 5 strawberries, with an avocado, with 4 fried or scrambled eggs. And that will satiate me quite well until the next day. And, you know, y'all, I'm seeing recommended protein levels is you need to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight, not lean muscle mass, right? So if your lean mass is supposed to be like 150, but that means you should be 185, then eat 185 grams of protein. And that sounds a lot, and it is, but it's not too much, I promise you. So 1 meal a day, I have gotten to where that's where I do it all the time. Probably not the best, right? I'm probably not doing what's ideal for me. But ideally, you should keep your body guessing. Is today a 1 meal a day or is it 2 meals today? So I wouldn't do one OMAD every day, but I would do it 3 or 4 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Pick a day, right? Step 11. I don't have enough fingers. I can put my toes up there. I want to see that. Step 11 is, and this is more for health reasons than weight loss reasons, guys, is once you get, say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks past that 1 meal a day, 3 times a week, I would skip that 1 meal a day once a month or so. What I'm saying is go 48 to 72 hours on an extended fast. It does miraculous things inside your body. You're deep into autophagy where you're recycling misformed cells, sentient cells, zombie cells, cells that lead to cancer, cells that lead to dysfunction. And your body goes, this cell's not operating properly. I'm going to recycle it. And it does. and your body creates new stem cells during an extended fast, and your body creates higher levels of human growth hormone, so that once you start feeding again after that 72-hour window, or 48, 72, you don't lose protein because your body's ready to build it back up with new cells, a new human growth hormone, and we're going to create new brain cells. We're going to create new stomach cells. Your body knows where it needs to go, and it'll do that. And it's not that hard. It feels like a superpower. I actually have an older video, one of my earlier videos on extended fasting and how easy it was. I encourage y'all to go watch that. And yeah, I highly encourage that. The 12th step, whatever, I don't have the fingers. So step number 12, and this is really not a step. It is, because this is what derails most of us, guys. When you get off plan, when you fail, how you handle failure, you have to immediately get back on track. Don't wait. Don't make a cheat meal a cheat day, right? Don't make, I'm having pizza for lunch, so I have fast food for dinner. Number one, it'll make you sick. Even if it doesn't make you sick, it is super bad for you, and it kills your momentum. Momentum can be your friend, or it can be and I want momentum to be your friend. So get going, keep going. Don't let a cheat day become a cheat weekend. Let's say, your sister's getting, and y'all are having a special lunch and a special dinner and all. Okay, take the day off. Maybe be a little bit careful. Don't go crazy like I probably would, because I'm an addict. Hi, I'm Scott, and I'm an addict, a food addict. Don't let a cheat day become a cheat weekend. Don't let a cheat weekend become a cheat week, because then, and the next thing you know, you've gained all of your weight back. This lifestyle change, y'all, and I want to encourage you that. That's why I'm doing these videos, guys. Anyway, y'all, YouTube's going to show you another video that they think y'all need to watch, and I think it's going to be over here. I'm going to call it over here. Love you guys. Peace out. I can do that, can I? Can I do that?